All right, Shalom. I want to start off as always by giving our praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Racha HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone. I want to say much love unto the brothers out there doing his work in truth and sincerity. And I also want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And in this morning's lesson, I wanted to do a response video unto the video here that was put up by Valuetainment with Patrick Ben David on his podcast. And as you can see, the title of his video reads, Building the Antichrist Kingdom. Peter Thiel warns AI could usher in end times. Now, the first portion of this title, all right, Building the Antichrist Kingdom, their understanding of the Antichrist, all right, is based off Christianity and their interpretation of it. In their minds, they think that it is one man who is the Antichrist that's going to, rule the world and, do all these evil things. Look, man, to be Antichrist, all right, you have to deny the Lord Yahweh Shai. Not only deny him, but how you live your life. Okay? America is an Antichrist kingdom. The world is an Antichrist world. Anti-Yahweh Shai. Okay? There is no one man that's the Antichrist. All right? There are Israelites who are Antichrist. Anti-Yahweh Shai. Okay? So it's not just no one person or, a lot of people are anti-Yahweh Shai. So the Christian understanding of the Antichrist is completely off. Okay? Now, the part about Peter Thiel warns AI could usher in end times. AI plays a part in end times prophecy. Okay? And yes, AI is going to, speed up things. But the end times started when Yahweh Shai came back over, 2,000 years ago. That's when the end time started, when he was born. There was the beginning of the end of the heathen rulership. Okay? But yes, AI plays a big part in that because AI will be used to pretty much govern the world. Okay? This is why Esau got something called AI governance. They're going to use this artificial intelligence to pretty much guide their fourth industrial revolution. All right. That is the end goal. But it's going to be their downfall. Okay. So let's play this video here, man. I pray it's edifying me. Speed up a little bit. All right, here we go.
One part of the bill that is causing some challenges for some people, and I'm kind of in agreement with them. U.S. Senate overwhelmingly rejects plan to stop states regulating AI. It's Financial Times. They voted 99-1 on Tuesday morning to reject a 10-year ban on states regulating AI models, removing the provisions from President Trump's big, beautiful bill, with Senator Marsha Blackburn stating it was an honor to lead this fight until Congress passes federal legislation like my No Fakes Act and the Kids Online Safety Act. We cannot remove those projections. And this is a proposal backed by lobbyists from Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, OpenAI, Sam Altman, Trump's AI team, David Sachs, and others, aim to prevent inconsistent state rules, but face bipartisan opposition over concerns about stifling oversight of AI social and economic impact. Republican Senator Thomas Tillis, the sole dissenter planning to retire, had told the Financial Times the provision was necessary to keep the U.S. the number one country in the world for innovation. Tom, your thoughts on the story here?
Well, so you basically, there's a couple things here. If every state, made a different test for the number of miles per gallon of a car, then that sticker on the window when you go to buy a car would be madness. California, you know what I mean? Like if they all made different standards. So that's the argument the government is making. The argument that people like me are making for the states is, wait a minute, what about when DeSantis said, no, we're not going to do trans stuff in our schools, and we don't want a federal mandate on that. We know our people locally. No, I am not going to close all the beaches. I got people saying that UV is really good for killing bacteria and viruses. So why can't people be at the beaches in Florida during COVID? No, I'm not going to get behind that. That's the tension we have here. What worries me is the proposal was backed by lobbyists. That scares the hell out of me.
Always.
And then look who's lobbying: Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, OpenAI. So guess what? If all of those are lobbying the Senate, they only need to get 100 people together and get 51 of them to go their way. Make sense? If it's in the hands of the states, all of those companies have to work with 50 different states, 50 different governors, and they don't want that. And they're claiming, oh, it's going to be like miles per gallon. The sticker on the car would be madness.
No, I get what they're saying. And trust me, I get from their perspective, because it lowers the speed of growth and innovation. When we were in the Department of Insurance, we didn't just deal with the federal government on getting one license. We had to get a license in 50 states.
50 little governments.
And we dealt with every single one of the states. And trust me, it was super annoying. So I fully get that part. But for me, if I'm a state, I want to be able to govern and create certain laws with AI that may be different than somebody else's, to be able to attract better talent, or to say, no, I'm not okay with you doing that. Is this DeSantis' clip talking about the same issue?
Yes, this is DeSantis late last month, late June, where he discusses why he was not in favor of the AI provisions in the big, beautiful bill.
Go for it. Go for it. Here's the sentence.
Raises the issue of this whole artificial intelligence. They're talking about in Washington banning states from being able to regulate it at all for the next 10 years. And as governor, I want to be able to provide protections for you working with the legislature if that's warranted. This stuff is progressing so quickly, but you will absolutely get to a point where they can just take you, they can put words in your mouth and do a video, and you're basically saying something that's the opposite of what you actually believe. And they can have you depict you doing awful things. That's not the world that we want to live in. And so I think that the states need to be able to retain their ability to handle the emerging AI issues. So this is a really significant
you can pause
issue.
it right there. I'm with it because, again,
Right. So with them passing this law, bro, that the states are not able to regulate AI for the next 10 years, what do you think they're doing that for? They're setting up the MOTB system, AI governance, digital currencies, 15-minute cities, social credit scores. They're giving this 10-year gap so they can have time to do this. Okay? That's all. Now, to them, it seemed ridiculous looking at it objectively. But for us, we look at it prophetically. Okay, with them regulating AI, with them not being able to regulate AI for the next 10 years, that's giving these technocrats more time to build the MOTB system here in America. This is all prophecy. Okay, it's all prophecy, bro. It seemed ridiculous looking at it objectively, but the Most High is at work. These state governors, they can't say anything against AI, okay? Nothing they can say against it. So here in the near future, man, we're going to see some great changes amongst America, okay? They're trying to outdo China, They're rapidly producing, all right, these massive databases across Texas and other parts of the country to get this AI thing up and running, bro. This is serious. Why do you think Donald Trump had those three tech geeks up there with him? Sam Altman, Larry Ellison, and then the Asian guy. They spoke about the golden age of America, which are talking about artificial intelligence, okay? This is something that these devils been planning for a while, all right? They've been planning for a while. They're ushering in the fourth industrial revolution, right? So this is all in line with prophecy, man. And it's beautiful. Okay, it's beautiful to see this. But I want to play this portion here again because what Ron DeSantis said is true. How they're gonna pretty much have control, man, to do whatever with you through AI, you know. But hey, it is what it is, man. Bring it on. Okay, bring it on, man. Here we go.
Visions in the big beautiful bill.
Go for it. Go for it. Here's the sentence.
Raises the issue of this whole artificial intelligence. They're talking about in Washington banning states from being able to regulate it at all for the next 10 years. And as governor, I want to be able to provide protections for you working with the legislature if that's warranted. This stuff is progressing so quickly, but you will absolutely get to a point where they can just take you, they can put words in your mouth and do a video, and you're basically saying something that's the opposite of what you actually believe. And they can have you depict you doing awful things. That's not the world that we want to live in. And so I think that the states need to be able to retain their ability to handle the emerging AI issues. So this is a really significant
issue.
issue.
Right there. I'm with it because, again, if a state wants to be a little more liberal, guess what they do? They attract the people that want to have their AIs being done there. If somebody wants to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more conservative, then you may say, that may not be a place for me. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, just about the AI. Do you remember about a year ago, the World Economic Forum had their list of the top 10 most pressing issues that the world is going to be facing
Yes.
for the next decade? And do you remember the number one on the list was misinformation and disinformation? Do you recall that?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So this, I think, is the centerpiece of that. I mean, how many videos? I'm seeing AI videos of grandmas and grandpas talking about all sorts of sexual stuff. It's like, what just happened here? I saw Trump playing the World Cup and score the winning goal.
Yeah, what were you
I've seen
watching,
this.
bro?
Hell yeah, it's pretty sexual. I've seen Taylor Swift sitting on Trump's lap. We've seen these deep fakes, this misinformation, this disinformation. We're getting to the point where we are not going to even know what's real and what's not real. They're talking about some of the highest earning women, real women, they're AI bots. So this might not be the number one issue right now, but if things turn out to go this way, we're going to circle back in 5 years and see if this turned out to be true.
And by the way, I don't even think that's what it is, though. I don't think they're worried about the deep fakes. I think they're worried about other type of regulation that they go above and beyond. Like, let's just say Palantir is trying to do something. They want to be able to say, as long as the federal government says it's okay, it's okay. And Florida wants to be able to say, no, we're not doing that in our state. We're not going to be doing this in our state. I think it's a little bit more than that. Is this the clip that was extremely disturbing?
This was with Peter Thiel sitting down with Ross Douthat, and he's talking about the Antichrist and how, the Antichrist could be ushered in through AI because he was warning this guy about it. By the way, Peter Thiel looks kind of odd, but listen to that. Look at how awkward he turns, Pat, once he mentions the Antichrist and him basically being able to usher him in if he's really going there. Play this clip, Robbie. This is going to be in the first.
Is my very specific question for you, right? Is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, in technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools
Look at
that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
Look at
there are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit
like he's been holding on to the ring of power
permanent authoritarian rule.
Well,
by the way, he makes this is a very important question he's asking about there.
Huge.
He says, I don't think you're doing it, but how do you prevent from a guy? Go back 7 seconds, Rob. Could you go back 7 seconds? Keep going. 10 seconds. Yeah, play that clip from right there.
These devils who invest in AI, partnering with Palantir and all this shit, they know exactly what they're doing, man. Okay? They know that here in the near future, this digital system is going to give them total control over the people, man. All right? It's going to give them godlike ability to truly dictate and run shit, right? To bring in the MOTB, right? And make it to where if you don't participate in getting it, you'll be an outcast. You'll be looked at as less than, in so many words, okay? And for the umpteenth thousand time, man, There is no one antichrist person somewhere getting ready to make an appearance. That's madness. That's a Christian dogma. There is no one antichrist, man. Okay? This world is antichrist. Here we go. These are antichrists here. Okay? Patrick Ben David, them niggas are lost soul. But here we go.
There. I don't think you're doing it.
Rule.
Well, but again, there are these different gradations of this we can describe, but is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism? This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety, and we've submitted.
That's correct.
He looks.
How do we know that's not AI itself?
It's actually, Tom, what do you think about what he's saying?
Well, he's pointing. What Peter Thiel sounds like, and I'm not inside his head, and there's a lot that was going on in that interview, but he's correctly pointing out that verse in 1 Thessalonians that says that the Antichrist will come. I bring peace. I bring safety. And what does everybody want right now? They want peace. And let's do a 16-week countdown. Let's look at the polling. And so we
First Thessalonians don't say that the Antichrist is going to bring peace and safety. See what I'm talking about, bro? Christians just be talking. Don't know what the hell going on in the Bible, man. Christians don't know the Bible, all right? These niggas are losers and they're suckers and they're idiots, okay? Let's read 1 Thessalonians 5, man. This is a verse he's quoting, right? Well, you know what? Let's start at 1. It says, "But of the times and the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say," right? When they shall say, not one person, not the Antichrist, okay? Paul didn't say the Antichrist is going to say, okay? Peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming upon the world, upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So there's no Antichrist saying this, man, okay? This message is going to come from the elites of this world, okay? Pushing the message of peace and safety, right? Especially when all hell breaks loose, okay, when this transition comes, all right, when it's, 2 Ezra 15 and 16 happening, they're going to try to push for peace and safety, right? But yes, they're preaching peace and safety now, but especially when things go left in the world, that's going to be the message. Peace and safety, let's come together, let's, get back on track in society. And they're going to have that MOTB ready and available, okay, to reestablish order, so to speak. So this is not no Antichrist saying this, which there are Antichrists who are gathered together, right? But it ain't no one person, man. So stop the madness, bro.
We did that, and it was great programming that you chartered on Valuetainment. And one of the things that we found was state by state. Guess what was the closer you got to the southern border, immigration was number one, and that safety-related immigration was number one. Much different in Missouri than it was in Arizona. In Arizona, Republicans and Democrats were worried about it because in Arizona, it was on their front lawns. So what he's talking about is peace and safety-ism has been something that the voter and the citizen has wanted for 50 years or more. Look at how Germany agreed to things at the end of World War II, because the Germans that were still alive in villages that weren't even connected to the Nazis, they just wanted it to stop so they could get back. And so they agreed to things, including, they didn't really protest and understand what was going on with the split of Germany that was happening. And so they went with peace and safety. So what he's talking about is very accurate. People look for peace and safety, and the Antichrist will come offering peace and safety. Now, I disagree. I do not think AI is going to hasten the arrival of the Antichrist. The sin of man will hasten the arrival of the Antichrist and hasten the return of the real Christ, Jesus Christ. However, along the way, the deception.
Wrong. You Christians, man, you have polluted the earth with your doctrine. All right. There's no one damn Antichrist, man. Okay. And yes, AI will help usher in the speedy end of you Edomite's kingdom and your power. Okay? The Lord not going to allow you, all right, to just subjugate the earth, okay, through putting a damn chip in everybody, bro. That's weird as hell. So the Most High going to stop. He's going to allow you to do it somewhat, right? But you ain't going to get it how you want it, Esau, because you're crazy as hell. And the elect not going to take the mark of the beast. That's not going to happen. So the Lord got to come in and disrupt this man's plan. So here we go.
Will be great. And I think that's a point he's trying to get to. But the other gentleman was making, I think was a good and fair point. Aren't every advanced tool, you know, like if you go look at all of the technological tools, you look at the DVD, you look at video games, you look at things that were going on, you look at the multi-camera angles that were on DVD. Do you know what the first industry always to use all of these entertainment advanced technology is?
Government?
Porn.
Oh,
Porn. Porn was the first one to use all the advanced stuff on DVD. They say, imagine watching a movie from 5 different angles. Boom. Porn had it first. And so sinfulness and things goes first with usually technological advances because fraudsters use it before there's controls and evil people use it before there's laws and a sheriff. And so whereas the Antichrist will say, hey, I will clean all this up. I will make it nice for you. He's absolutely correct. And he's speaking from a biblical point of view.
I like it. Once a year, we host an event.
All right,
called the Ball Conference.
This is in the video, right? But the point being is that these devils are bringing in a technocracy, all right? That big, beautiful bill, all right, people complaining about, you know, Medicaid and stuff like that, but they're not highlighting the point of these states won't be able to regulate AI for the next 10 years. If you think Medicaid is your biggest issue, hey man, just keep on living. Okay, keep on living. The world is about to change drastically, bro. Drastically, okay? They finna see here, people. You're about to see drones flying around. You're gonna see robots in restaurants and at school, at the courthouse, and walking down the road, okay? You're going to see this shit. It's going to mess your head up. That is a robot walking a dog or outside playing with kids, okay? That's how weird it's about to get, man. But people going to be looking at it like, oh, you know, oh, man, that's tight, you know. You know how Jake going to be. Hell yeah, bro, I got a robot. Hey, man. For us believers, okay, just pray more, man, be locked in. This shift about to happen. It's going to be bumpy. But hey, our Lord promised to protect us, man. All right? To keep us away from the evil. So I'll close out there, man. Pray to edifying. I'll praise you. How about Shimon Shai? Shalom.